Hello everybody. Today you're going to learn how to use product and product categories inside your SuiteCRM system. My name is Bastian Hammer, your go-to expert when it comes to all things CRM, e-commerce, marketing automation and sales integration. Okay, so let's go. So I assume you've got your SuiteCRM system up and running. You already start working on the data and you want to use products, product categories, invoices, and everything around that. So in order to work from the CRM directly within your whole sales process. So the first thing in order to set up products and product categories is basically the other way around. You first should set up your product categories. Because if you don't, you have products without categories, and that might be like a little bit of a loose structure, even though it would be working. Let's first give this a try. So products and products categories are a little bit hidden here. There you can find the product categories, and that's the first thing that we're going to do. Now, let's just come up with an example. Maybe you're kind of designing bags and shoes or something. It's a very popular example in the e-commerce space, and you're doing design and you're selling the products afterwards. So basically we have two different main or parent groups or categories, which is one time a design or like a service and one time a product where you actually sell something, and inside those product categories you might have shoes and handbags. So let's start to create those categories. And here the first category is service. I would assign this to me depending on your permissions and role system. Basically it doesn't matter too much here, but if you're selling different product groups and different people have to work on those, then look into this here and check out my video on SuiteCRM and roles and permission system. Then date created, date modified, depends on if you want to use it. Maybe you've got a PIM system and then you synchronize it, or you have some sunset date for categories or so, and then you can use this one here. Other than that, usually you don't have to fill those in. So then description, I would just keep it open, but imagine any description that you would like to pick. And then since it's a parent category or the root category, I would check this box here later on. And if we have this one checked, you can still select another category, but it won't save it. So therefore it looks wrong, but it works correctly. I just should deactivate this field now here, because if it's a parent category, then it means it's a root category. There's no category above this one here. So now we've created our service. And as you can see right away, you've got sub-panels as well. And there is one time the total number of records of products which are inside this category here. So it's kind of a development from SuiteCRM for you out of the box. And subcategories, how many subcategories did you associate with this one here? So we're going to keep it as it is because this is a root category. We don't want to branch this out. So this would be fine, and only this one will change, but there will not be any further subcategories. Whereas if I now create the goods category, where I actually want to have products, physical products that I'm selling later on, then it would make sense because there we will have subcategories later on as well. So inside the goods, everything same applies here. So I'll just produce it or save it. And then I create another category and call it bags. And here, now I can pick my parent category. And this is not service, this is goods. So I simply have to type in the first letters and it will come up right away. And now I can select this one here. And if I click on the goods category, so I can navigate or jump around, then you will see that I've got a subcategory. And this is correct. If I press on it, then you will see, okay, these are all my subcategories that we have got configured in our system. So let's go to the list view. maybe you want to have a couple of more columns displayed here, especially if you're working with like sunsetting whole groups, or you want to report on when did you start with one product category to sell, and then you want to see this here as well, maybe organize it there as well. And as usual, you can add more fields if that suits your needs. Check out my video on the views and how to configure those, and the video with SuiteCRM on fields and how to add those to your records inside your modules. So, but the product categories look good so far. That's how I would like to have it set up, and I'm good. Now I want to start working on my products. So therefore I'm going down to the products here, and these are just some test products, but now I would start with a clean product. And the first one is one design hour, for instance. And then, as you can see again, there are some fields, maybe you don't need it at all, maybe you would. So feel free to configure this with the Studio and maybe remove part number if you don't use that at all. Product category, so this one is easy now. That was the service. I pick that, and it's a service type of product. So here, this is predefined for you. If you happen to have something else, go into the fields and configure this one here. Check out my video on the fields in SuiteCRM, and then you can adjust it to your needs. But usually stick with the standard and you're good here. For this one, the currency, it's a bit special. If you want to know how to set it up, do this first. That's very important. Do this first here. And check out my video on SuiteCRM and currency. Now we can enter the currency in whatever you see fit, and it will automatically calculate it later on. So if I type in like euro currency, and then it would help me to convert it into US dollar later on. So that's totally fine. Cost. So if you really want to have like cost reports, and then you've got like revenue margin reports or something, it's totally possible. I've done a couple of projects. It is a bit more complicated, like when you buy something, maybe the price are changing and stuff like this, but it definitely works. So you can get SuiteCRM to really organize your whole accounting as well, and then maybe export it into your official accounting system. But it is possible to produce all the correct data, all the reports on this one, and then simply transfer it over into your external accounting system if you have got one. So contact, well, I think I didn't have any projects where this would make sense. Maybe if you have a supplier for this product or something, then it makes sense to use the contacts. Think about it. I think with the supply chain management, we used it exactly in this way. So we had like one project where we had like 10, 15 different suppliers, and then we used SuiteCRM not only for the sales side, but for the supply chain management side of things as well. Because after all, what is the supply chain? It's more or less like a customer, just the other way around. So you've got your accounts, you've got your contacts inside the accounts working there, and they would supply you with some products. And then you would have your projects, and the projects are buying those products and restructuring, selling, and so on. So this would be possible. Then you have like a contact directly to the product as well. Description. If you have any, go ahead, add a description. And the product image just the same. So for now, testing purpose, I'll just keep it as it is. Then everything looks good to me, and I click simply on save. So I've got my first product with its category. And now you can see inside the products, we've got one more subpanel as well, which is related to the quotation, which is already closed and invoiced. Check out my video on the quotations to go into this detail and how that works. So, and if I go to service, now you will see there's a record of product inside my service as well. Very well, that works good so far. Now I would like to add one more product, and this one goes into another category, which is more or less the same, but it is a bag, like which bag ever, and then we can select the other category, and I make it euro again. So the price, now I know the price actually of the cost. It will be 5, and we're setting it for 10. And the same fits here. So if you have a contact, a supplier, then you would know where to get it from. Maybe you've got a URL for the product as well inside your e-commerce store, for instance. Product images, if you want to organize it here, maybe you've got a PIM system, then you probably have your images there because you want to have multiple images. So this one here is very limited, let's put it like this, because you don't have like descriptions in multiple languages, you don't have multiple images, maybe even multiple images formats and so on. So here it's more or less about the header data and the technical data of the product itself. So, and now we've got this figured out, and we've created 2 different products. Let's see it in the overview as well. Okay, that looks good. See, the new products have a product category. We've got a price. Sometimes we've got a cost as well. Date created. Very well. That looks good so far. So one more thing that I would like to show is, for instance, the design hour. You can see the purchases here. Let's quickly do this. So this goes via the quotations. So if somebody asks you, you want to have a design quote, and then I would switch this one here to closed accepted. So not initially, but like just for demo purposes, if you're going through the process, probably it will be something different. And now I would add a product, which is the design hour, and I would add it one time. Okay, everything fine. Then we set it to invoice as well, because if it's already closed and accepted, maybe we have already sent an invoice, and then you will see it's not showing up here because we forgot to sell it to somebody. So now we need to sell it to this company, because this company has purchased our product. And as you can see, now it works. So this is what the product expects in order to show the data of the subpanel here. So it's a bit tricky to figure this out, but then afterwards it will be possible to see. So it needs to be the quotation. That is, you need to be a bit careful. So if you integrate your e-commerce systems, I've done this several times in projects, in order to really see it here, to make use of this one, you should create one quotation with every single invoice automatically. If you don't care about the data here, and then you basically don't have to worry about it, you can just from every single order create an invoice right away and skip the quotation step. I always find it a bit nicer if it's possible to trace the whole customer sales cycle inside your CRM system. It has the advantage, and it's mostly the case in e-commerce plus CRM integration projects, that you've got like B2C and B2B mixed, or you've got like online offline mixed, and then you still want to follow the same process, even though online you would be skipping a couple of steps because it's just easier. Your internal sales team doesn't have to do the phone calls and stuff, but it works via your e-commerce store. So if you integrate your e-commerce store and you already have like offline processes implemented, make sure that the e-commerce store on integration will go through the same processes or will create the same data records like you would do along the process, in order to make it easier later on if you have like a business analyst going in and trying to make sense of the data, and there you're lacking some things and it's just like not nice at all, and then maybe later on you have to integrate or like migrate old data into the system here in order to match the reports that you want to see. So Make sure the processes are fitting your needs and requirements. And then you can set up products and categories and structure it nicely so that you've got like a good overview. And once this is done, feel free to proceed and start with your quotations and your invoices in the CRM system. Okay, let's quickly recap. You've seen how to create categories and subcategories inside your SuiteCRM system. Additionally, we created products for those different categories inside the CRM system, and we even added another quotation using one product, so in order that we can have the data as SuiteCRM wants you to go through the sales process and the product selling process or purchasing process in order to show the data here. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye.